What's up, my peeps? How y'all doing? Guess where I'm at today? One of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. By the pool earlier today, got a chance to relax. I woke myself up snoring, so it must have been good. And even though it was hot, it had this perfect breeze. Thank you, Vegas. Got a few stops to make today. I think you'll be really happy about the last stop. I am. I'm really excited. Got my unicorn look today. Shoes. Hey, thanks, boo. Make a wish. Okay, so I'm leaving from the Aria. Got another stop to make. I sat down at a 2-5 table, bought in for $600 and cashed out for $3. Down half my stack. I can't even say that it was anything very specific that happened. It was just not my day, I guess. Hopefully, I'll get in some good hands later and make that back and some. So. See. So I head over to the South Point Hotel and Casino for Andrew Neeme and Brad Owens meetup game. It is packed and it's a Tuesday. There are already 12 tables of 2-5 going, and get this, there are only 11 other 2-5 tables running in the rest of Las Vegas. Wow.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for being here.
Cheers, y'all. Ooh, salute. So I sit down at the table, get ready for my first hand. I don't even have my camera ready yet and look down at sixes, end up flopping a set of sixes, end up betting my set of sixes, end up scooping a very mediocre, non-exciting pot. But then for my next hand, in the big blind, ace king offsuit. Folds around to the small blind who makes it 20, and I'm in position, no need to go crazy. I flat the 20 and we go to the flop, which is 8 jack ace with 2 hearts. He quickly leads out for $40 and I give it the 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 call. And we go to the turn, which is the 10 of clubs. Now there's a double flush draw out there, but I've now got an inside straight draw. He checks it and I'm like, check out this, $70. He thinks for a second, makes the call, and we go to the river, which is the queen of spades. I have hit my straight. I have the nuts. I'm good to go. When he checks, I bet $175. He quickly makes the fold and I get some scoopage. Okay. Now, he didn't show his hand, but what would you guess he was calling me with? So forgive me in advance for not having the beginning of this hand, but I will tell you how I got to this place. Under the gun limps in for $5. It folds around to me in the small blind and I raise it up to $15. He calls and we go to the flop, which is queen 7 ace with 2 diamonds. I got middle pair here and I make a C bet of $30 and he gives a call. The turn is the 10 of hearts. So I've got 2 pair. Now there's actually a Broadway out there as well, and I make it $80 and he quickly raises to $250. Now I'm thinking, okay, does he have the Broadway? Would he raise me right there with that? It's the nuts. Would he just smooth call that and get more value for me on the river? Or would he do the same thing with a flush draw? At this point, I got 2 options and I... Call. Yeah. I got a few outs if he does have the Broadway. Any queen, any 10, so I got 6 outs. That would give me a full house and beat that Broadway. there's about a 12% chance that I would hit that on the river. It comes out as the 8 of clubs, and he turns his cards over, and yeah, he's got the Broadway. Blech. I read that one wrong. How fun. So I'm still sitting here having a good time. I'm stuck right now, but the night is young. Who knows what could happen? I will say, talking about P's and Q's, this has been some serious P's and Q's. So I'll tell you about this situation. There was a huge hand. I didn't have my phone on. I wish I did. They're heads up, and there's some heavy betting going on. Gets to the river. The guy exposes his cards. It says ace high. The other guy flips over his jacks and says, ship it. And then he says, shenanigans. And the other guy's like, whoa, you don't have to be rude. And he was just like, sorry, you caught me on a bad day. And then the guy's like, well, then don't come to a meetup game where everyone's playing friendly. And I was like, feeling that. And you know what? He apologized. And he said, you know what? I'm sorry. I was being an asshole. And I had a lot of respect for that, because we all have our moments, but it's about being accountable, recognizing that, hey, you might be being an asshole right now, and apologizing. So that was like a good poker etiquette. Don't say ship it, and don't be an asshole. And if you do be an asshole, apologize. Fair, totally fair. And then somebody scolded me a little bit because I'm in the small blind. I didn't realize that no one had limped in. I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have been. And I raised, and the big blind says, oh, you want to chop? And I was like, well, I raised. And so obviously he folds, comes back to me, and then we play another thing, and it's him and I heads up again. And I'm like, oh, do you want to chop? And he's like, you don't chop. You don't chop. And then everyone starts giving me a lecture about either you have to chop all the time or you have to play all the time. And I'm not sure I agree with that necessarily. I understand it's an unspoken rule, but I usually do chop. But in that example, I had raised, and sometimes I chop and sometimes I play. I don't think there's an all or nothing. What do you guys think? Well, enough about that. It's time to head over to the bar and chop it up with the one and only Andrew Neeme. So here I am today.
We started, okay.
I just start recording. I kind of just go with the flow. I just
like that.
Keep it natural, keep it simple. I didn't plan anything, honestly. But number one, thank you for being here. This meetup game was extraordinary. Everyone's always so nice at you guys' meetup games.
I've noticed that as well. It's awesome.
It says a lot about you and Brad.
I mean, we try to we keep things pretty lighthearted in the videos, and I think when you have an event that is sort of based around the content, then you're not going to get a bunch of random jerks showing up to it. It's going to be sort of a reflection of the content that you're putting together. So that seems to be what happens, and we get a lot of awesome people that come to the games.
You really do, because you guys are awesome. Can you tell me, I was curious, how did this start? Because I know you guys are really forging this meetup poker game thing. I don't think anyone was doing it before you guys started it.
Right. And I've noticed that other people are calling them mugs now. The word mug is a thing now.
Mugs are real.
So the first one was, I think, 2 WSOPs ago. Lists were long, as they usually are.
Yeah.
We wanted a way to just do something different and get people together. So Brad and I put out a tweet the day before a game, which we didn't really know what was going to happen, but we said, whoever's around wants to play some 2-5, come to the Mirage tomorrow at 4 p.m. or whatever time it was. Because the usual spots that I play are the Aria and the Wynn, and the Bellagio, and especially on weekends, the lists get insane during the WSOP.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to go somewhere different and do something a little bit different and get people together that watch the videos and wanted to help chip in and help make the content
and interact. People love interacting. They can't wait for you to come to their table.
Yeah, I mean, we had 12 games tonight, so it's tough to get FaceTime with everybody, but we try to do our best. We bounce around to as many tables as we can. But yeah, we just want to do something different and just get face to face with a lot of people. We spend so much time answering comments under videos or DMs and stuff like that. So getting getting face to face like this, I think, is the more that you can do that, the better in this day and age. I think.
I agree. I feel like, to your point, in this day and age, everything's so digital, right? So you're doing all those comments, but for people to get I sat next to a guy today, and he looked at you, and he's like, "That's my buddy," and he's like, he doesn't actually know me, but I feel like we're friends. And I think you and Brad do such a good job of being that person behind the camera where you feel connected, and then to actually be able to do that in real life is so valuable and inspiring to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. It's like I get a lot of benefit out of it myself. You know, it's like it's really cool to do it. Just meet people that are interested and like enjoy the content. Like it feels awesome. You know, it's really fun. It's been really cool.
That's super cool. Yeah. So I talked to a lot of people today who aren't really pros. I talked to some people who are pros. I talked to some people who seem like they might want to make that transition. If you could give 3 tips to someone. Tips. Yeah, I know, on the spot.
Jesus.
Andrew Neeme, 3 tips. You know,
I didn't prepare a report.
Yeah, exactly. Put it in an Excel spreadsheet. Just something that you learned as you were making your transition.
Yeah. Number 1 tip is probably to keep your spending as low as possible. I think that was probably my biggest mistake. I didn't realize, you know, it's like you got to keep track of your results, obviously. When you do that, you can sort of see what your hourly rate is going to be, and then you can see what your expected total income can be over like a longer period of time. And you know, when you don't keep track of your results, you think like, oh, I won like $500 tonight, and I can probably make another $500 another night. But poker doesn't really work that way. So you have to really limit your spending if you're trying to grow a bankroll, especially when you're getting started, because when you're getting started, you're playing lower limits. And your win rate's going to be obviously a little bit lower compared to like what you normally see, in like some live stream games and things like that. It's going to take a lot to grow a bankroll and pay your bills. So keep spending as low as possible. Sharing hands with other winning players is something that's super important. It's not something that I did too often when I first started. Should have done that.
Was that because you didn't have the players to talk to?
Yeah, I didn't network as well as I should have. I think when you get started, you need to be taking networking as seriously as you might in whatever career that you're already in. If you want to try and advance your career, it's just as important in poker, so that you can have somebody else tell you what you're doing wrong.
I love that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's see what else. So keep spending low. Share hands with other players.
Yes.
I would say the last one is just prioritize the grind. I think you need to decide what it is that you want to do and what you want to achieve, and then put as many hours into that thing as possible. So, you know, a lot of times, especially when you're living in Las Vegas, there's so many distractions that'll take you away from playing poker, and that can happen really anywhere. So
that's true.
So you have to sort of decide if it's like do you want to be successful, or do you want to just kind of like hang out in like the 1-3 and 2-5 range? You can get away with, you know, having more distractions if you just want to like kind of maintain that level. But if you want to move up in stakes, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of hours on the grind.
That's what's up.
So there you go.
Well, you heard it from Andrew Neeme, you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
You got it. Okay, I was gonna say keep up the vlogs, keep up the content, keep it going.
Thanks, Andrew.
More people, the better.
Thanks so much.
Got it.
I've really been enjoying this process.
That's good to hear.
And you and Brad are literally the reason why I started vlogging. So thank you.
All right, my pleasure.
P's and Q's with Andrew Neeme. So tell us, what is your #1 poker etiquette?
My #1 poker etiquette?
Yeah.
For me, it's like it kind of tilts me when a professional, say they call like a big bet on the river versus a recreational player, and the recreational player says, "Good call, you got it," and the professional player waits for the recreational player to turn their hand over, because that's like technically what the bettor is supposed to do. They're supposed to turn their hand over first.
Yeah.
But like the recreational player obviously is like a little bit embarrassed and doesn't want to show his cards. So I say just turn your cards over when he says you got it. You know?
Yeah.
I think if it's pro versus pro, that's fine. You know, if like it's two people that are battling and there's no reason the pro is going to be embarrassed or whatever. So he's trying to conceal information. It's like, all right, show your cards if you want the info, right?
Right.
But if it's versus a recreational player, you know he doesn't have anything. You're not going to learn too much. you kind of know he's a recreational player anyway. So they say turn your cards over when he says you got it.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, see,
Thanks, Andrew.
that's so much better than Brad's answer.
You know I'm putting that in there. Give me a hug. Oh my. Womp, womp, womp. You guys, as much fun as I've been having here, I'm stuck. I'm stuckity stuck. I didn't even want to say it out loud. I'm stuck. Yo, I had some bad decisions, and then I just had some, you know, second best kind of hands. That last hand, I know y'all saw that. Queen Jack of Hearts. I flopped top pair and a flush draw. It's heads up at that point. He opens on the flop for 100, and at that time I got maybe 350, 400. That's a third of my stack. If I call that, I mean, I guess I could have called and waited until the turn to see if I get my heart, but it's like, yeah, I got 35%, right? 35%. And I just jam it. He's got ace queen, so what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Even if I call the 100 on the turn, he's gonna bet. Even if I call that by the river, I'm all in anyway, right? And so it is what it is. I had a good time. One thing I will say, these meetup games always have like nice people, and a few different people came up to me and were like, "Hey, aren't you cute?" And I just don't know how to make a gal feel good, because I don't know if they know how much that makes my day, because I'm new, I'm just starting. Y'all know, y'all seen it. It's fresh, you know. And for people to come up to you and say nice things and want to take a picture with you and just give you encouragement, it's really nice. So, getting emotional because I'm already drinking, man. But thank you. Because it's like I was saying in the last episode, I didn't plan this, and I'm really enjoying this ride and enjoying this journey, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about my do's and don'ts, and haven't been stuck like this in forever. I have been stuck before, but I have not been stuck like this in a very long time. But I'm not even sweating it, because you know what? I got it in the bag. It's coming back to me in ways I don't even know. So, I'm gonna drink this good tequila though. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram at P's and Q's Poker. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.